All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Enlightened Conversations. Really excited for today and to introduce you guys to an awesome guest. And was introduced to her by another guest, Benjamin Dunlow, who we had an awesome conversation. He was episode 81, which I remember because he sent me some awesome synchronicities that happened with the Kobe Bryant passing and the 81 and his impact on Benjamin, and just so many interesting things after that. And he introduced me to today's guest, and immediately I went to her Instagram page and saw her energy that she's sharing, and just awesome human. She is a philanthropist and a speaker, and just amazing person. And I'm excited to flow some positive vibes with her today for all you guys. So without further ado, I want to introduce you guys to Rayshone Oliver, who is in the Ohio area, and I'm just excited for you guys to meet her. And without further ado from me, Rayshone, could you share with the audience who you are, what you do, why you do it, all that good stuff?
Yes, I sure will. First of all, you know what? Thank you so much, Noel. That is so wonderful for that intro. Thank you for having me on here. That's so bomb. I probably should have turned off my notifications because my TikTok been blowing up. OMG.
Are you on your, hold on, I'll edit this part. Are you on your phone right now?
Yeah.
Do the do not disturb. You know how to do that feature? My favorite
I
feature.
do.
Go ahead.
But please let it stay in there that my TikTok is blowing up.
You're so funny.
No, I'm serious.
I love it. I'll leave this whole part in now that you said that.
Yeah, because my TikTok, I'm telling you, I posted a video I'm gonna say maybe 12 days ago, and it's up to 917,000 views.
Wow.
I'm almost at 1 million views.
That's
so
awesome.
Yeah, so that's why again, to get back to what you asked me, why I call myself a philanthropist is because I do many things. I'm a hairstylist. I've been a licensed cosmetologist for 18 years. I also do inspirational conversations. I speak with people, and I just talk about the things in my life that I've been through that would help someone else. I feel like, I think when we were talking earlier, I feel like when people say they're a motivational speaker or they have this presence, I feel like they give you suggestions that don't really work, or you get this initial bang and then you're like, yeah. But what I want to do is just give some real life things. I've been through a whole lot of stuff, and sometimes it's relatable. So that's why I look for the misfits. I look for the people that are like me, the people who want to talk. I love this show called Explained on Netflix because it really gives this realistic version of individuals and perspectives, and that's what I want to be for our culture. I feel like I want to be that, you know what I mean? That person that people can confide in, can talk to, uplift, and that's what I do. And I do hair. I think that comes with the profession. I was reading an article, and it said, a hairstylist is the only therapy that I can afford.
Mm.
And that, my heart right there, because I know that there are clients, especially in my field, with doing hair and selling hair, weave and luxury. Oh yeah, I didn't say that. I sell weave and luxury. Oh, sorry, forgot it was on my hair. But yeah, my clients, a lot of them suffer from hair loss. So I've been doing a lot of study on trichology, and trichology is the study of the hair and scalp as it's associated with disease. So trichotillomania, alopecia, or hair loss from thyroid problems, stress, hormonal dysfunction. All of those different things are the things that really what I want to speak about. I don't just want to do hair or sell hair. I want to make sure that I'm making a positive impact on the psychological things that come along with hair loss. That's a big psychological impact. And it's 25 million women in America that are suffering from some sort of hair loss. And there's treatments out there that aren't necessarily being well, what I read was the reason that this particular treatment wasn't available was called saprodorone. It's internal medication that treats for hair loss. And what it does is, okay, every time I get into this, I always try to, because this conversation is so in depth, but it's what I do and what I love. So I guess we can get to more questions, or I could just keep up because I love that.
You've already taught me things that I didn't know just with those stats you just gave. And I'm sure there's people in the audience that if they're experiencing any of this, might not realize that either, and it could impact them. So it's actually pretty interesting that I had no idea you were going to go that direction, which me and Rayshone talked before this. Like these conversations go anywhere, which is super interesting to me because I'm like, oh, I didn't know 25 million women. You just think of guys losing their hair, which
Right.
I say
And
that's
that's
one of the
another
things
fact.
I'm most appreciative for. Even though I just had a hat on, so my hair is looking rough right now.
Oh,
But I'm
no,
just
no.
appreciative that I have hair because by 30, like there's a stat that something like 70% of guys like are losing their hair by 30 or some crazy
Yeah.
stuff. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. Female pattern baldness is a thing. And people are like, they just treat it like, oh, her hair's falling out, but it's called female pattern baldness. And there's treatment. So one of the reasons that what they have right now is what people would know is called minoxidil, more commonly known as Rogaine, those types of things. Nioxin has some minoxidil in it. But those are the medical forms, and they don't necessarily work as well on ethnic hair, because guess what? Ethnic hair, we can't wash our hair every day with shampoo in the morning and night. You know what I mean? Because our hair doesn't work the same. So it just makes a difference for me. It's just really important for me to just kind of dive into that and just learn. I've been learning about our hair follicle, and let's get back to the female pattern baldness, and how I describe it is a tree. So if you take a tree, the bark of the tree, the outside is like the hair shaft. Okay. So if you slice that tree right down the center, if you've ever seen a tree sliced open, it has like those lines in it. I'm speaking a horizontal or vertical slice, so that you could see, things in there, which would be like, it'll be the medulla of the hair, the cortex where the color is, where the melanin holds and stuff like that. So if you go down to the bottom of the tree, there's a big old bulb, which is all of those roots. That bulb is the hair bulb. And then at the bottom of that hair bulb is the hair papilla. That's the life of the tree. That is what is going to make that tree grow. Outside of that papilla, there's roots that come out from that tree, right? So all of those roots are like the arteries and the veins that are supplying the nutrients, just as it does to our hair. So what happens is, in the dirt is the subcutaneous layer, which is where all of that stuff is. Okay. What happens is in our hair, we have naturally occurring testosterone in our scalp. That's why men bald more frequently, because they have higher levels of testosterone. But when women have testosterone in their scalp, if they have a high level, sometimes it transition. There's a hormone called alpha 5 reductase. It's an enzyme. It's an enzyme. And what it does is it transitions the testosterone to dihydrotestosterone, which is DHT. The easiest way to say it is DHT. And that is what is toxic to the hair papilla, which causes the hair to enter the telogen phase and fall out.
You're an interesting human, Rayshone. You just shared so many interesting facts that I had no idea you were going to share. I want to point out something about you and to the audience, which you guys might want to watch the YouTube video because her energy is so fun, and she has an awesome painting behind her that I complimented her on right when she came on. But just notice, because she mentioned, and you could tell that she's all about just inspiring people and wanting to make an impact. And the best way that any of us do that is by our example, and the example that she's sharing, right off the bat, of just the passion and the energy about, it doesn't even matter the subject matter. It's just a matter of just the example of, the passion and the energy, like for anybody out there, be inspired by that. And just know, like in those moments where you're feeling passion towards anything in life, like you're so powerful and you're so inspirational to anybody that, is in your life or watching you or any of that stuff. So I just want to compliment you on that right off the bat. That's the first thing I said to you before she could even hear me. When she came out, I was like, your energy is awesome. And I couldn't even hear her yet. I could just feel it. Like I could see it. And I couldn't hear it any volume yet. So.
Oh, that's so dope. That is so dope. Okay. Oh, sorry. Osiris, fuera. Ven en la cama.
You speaking
Ahora.
to an animal in Spanish?
Sí.
Wow. You speak
Ven en
Spanish?
la cama ahora. Sorry, that's my dog. Yes, both my dogs. I taught them Spanish.
I love it. That's awesome. Right.
Yeah, they know, siéntate. They know ladrido, which is bark, and siéntate is sit down. They know ven aquí. They know come here. They know ven en la cama, which is get in your bed.
Do you speak fluent Spanish?
No, practica todos los días.
You're learning more and more vocabulary and teaching it to your dogs. That's awesome.
So what I was saying was, practica español todos los días, escuchen la música, ayúdame practicar palabras. Oh, it helps me. Okay, so
I kind of knew what
music.
you said. You like to listen to music and practice with your dogs.
Yeah, and it helps. No, it helps me learn more words.
Okay.
Yeah, it helps me
Pet
learn
on
more words.
dogs.
Yeah, there's because again, like you said, before we were really interrupted by my dog. You were saying that I inspire in all venues, and I really hold true to that, because the reason that I want to invest my energy into learning I want to be a polyglot, so I want to have I want to be like 7 and above languages. So I'm only working on 1.5, but I want to be able to be inspiring in Spanish. There's a lot of things that for me, no matter what I say, who I say it to is where the value comes in. You know what I mean? That's where it's important. So if I could say it in Spanish and it can help people, I talk to my friend all the time. I wrote this poem for her, and it's called Queen, Reina. And I'm going to say the poem once I'm done saying it. But I said it, I wrote the poem for my daughter, but it speaks to every last woman on the earth, because we're queens. We're all of us are queens, and all of the men are kings. We're queens and kings, and we don't see ourselves that way sometimes. And so that poem was like something that bridged our relationship of inspiration and positivity. And I just like to give that stuff back. And once I found out that that's where my heart lies, it was easy for me. I'm a hairstylist. That's where I came from. So when people are like, oh, so what do you mean you're a speaker? You've been doing hair. It's like, well, first of all, carpal tunnel set in. Jack Sister Hannah. But however, with that, I was given a gift of voice. I was given a gift of stories, and although those stories may have made they are learning lessons for me, but there are things for other people that can change their life. So that is like why I want to learn languages and just infuse it in every realm, because I just feel like there's so much negativity going around, and the things that are positive get smothered with all of these negative things. But I'm about to be this big force, this big smile, this big energy. No matter what it is that I'm going through, I'm always going to try to make sure I help people see the positive side of all of that thing. The positive mindset matters. Like, our mindset matters. And so that is just, that's how everything comes from me. I don't even know how else to do it any different.
I love it. I love it. You inspired me to point something out for the audience. And Rayshone, before we started, mentioned, and she mentioned, because I was complimenting her energy before we started recording, and she mentioned, being in a grocery store. And this is such a great reminder for all of us, because if we choose to leave our house or just to live our day, and we're human, so we're not going to be, just happy, joyful, blissful all day, every day. We can be, it's a choice though. And if we can be aware of it and just know, like, this is how I like to live, this is how I want to present myself to the world, then it becomes a practice, and we can spend more and more and more of our days living this way. And life is so much fun when we choose to live that way, if we make that choice. And what's going to happen is, when we're around other people, they're either going to want to play with us in that vibe and that frequency and that energy, or they're not going to want to be around us any more than we're going to want to be around them. So you mentioned, a woman in the grocery store, and like, I'm not going to probably give the exact quote, but it's like, almost like, are you okay? Like, wondering, asking her, is she okay? Because her energy is high. Like,
it's like a mix. But the story goes, so I was entering the nail salon. I'm going to get my nails done, and I have this energy. Most people who know me, they'll tell you that she's smiling all the time. I just always been like this. So when I came in, I'm like, hey, how you doing? What time? I know what time it is. And so she was like, oh, well, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, well, nothing. Like, what? Because it threw me off, because I'm thinking, since when did the day come where a friendly smile was something wrong?
That's a rough place to be for. I have compassion for, any human being that's living in that place, because I mean, there's been days where all of us have been in a rough mood or had a rough time of life challenges. So I know, as a human being, this is why, like, when we say we're all connected and we're all one, that can mean a lot of different things. I could share with you like what I know that to be true. But one
Mhm.
thing that it means to me is just as a human being, we all have the capability of being, sad, depressed, angry, and
Mhm.
happy, joyful, loving, blissful, and
Mhm.
everything in between. And we all
Yeah.
have that capability. So, if someone's not experiencing their best day right now, doesn't mean I'm gonna want to hang out with them because I'm choosing to live, the way that I'm choosing to live.
I
But at the
give my
same
energy
time,
to those I choose, right?
yeah, at the same time, I'm not going to judge them or condemn them because we can't blame someone or judge someone or condemn someone and maintain a good vibe ourselves at the same time. So the moment we
Right.
start pointing out somebody else being something or doing something or blaming someone, just know that every moment we're doing that, our energy is dropping to where if they are in a crap mood, we're just joining them there. That's it.
Right.
So
And it doesn't help anything. It doesn't help anything. It just really doesn't. I always talk, I think one thing that I said was communicating with results in mind. Like think about what result you're going to get from the way you're acting. Are you going to, like, even if, I don't know, I do it and no matter who I'm talking to. I don't care if somebody comes in, if a customer is angry or if a client is upset, even if with my husband, with my fiance, if he gets, we have to figure out what it is. I tell him straight up, he'd be like, yeah, it was your fault. I'd be like, okay, it was my fault. But now what's our solution? How do we do this better the next time? That's it. That's it. And so many people, I think they're like, well, how do I make it better? And how do I do this? How do I change my results? You don't change your results by doing anything different, but changing what you do. You have to change yourself. Everything got to start with us as individuals. And I think we are afraid of that. I think I was afraid of it. I was there. I'm not a stranger. I was that person walking in fear of confronting the fact that I was inefficient to the person that I wanted to be. I really wanted to be better and I couldn't even admit that to myself. I wanted to be better. And I was like, no, I'm the stuff. And now I'm like, you know what? No matter where I am, I'm very happy, but I always want to be better. I always want to be in place of improvement. I always want to be in a place of learning. So it changes the dynamic. Now it's more of a peaceful place because it's a place I want to be. I'm not forced to be here. Yeah,
absolutely.
speaking of learning, reading books, everybody read your books.
Mhm.
Listen, read books. I know I'm such a nerd. And listening to books on YouTube is reading a book, okay?
Mhm.
I don't really distinguish between that. Gain the knowledge about whatever it is because it's out there. It's free. It's out there. I just had to give a plug to read books because I love reading.
Absolutely. No, it's definitely that's a really good plug. And you also just said something that is so important for all of us to realize because what you just described is taking full responsibility for your own life and for your own energy and for what we see in the world is going to be reflecting on what's going on inside of us. And so many people try to manipulate and like adjust what other people are doing so that I could feel better. Especially like in relationships, people do this all the time where it's like if you just act this way, this way, this way, then I could be in a good mood. I could be happy.
Well, then I wouldn't be me.
Yeah.
You know what? You might as well be somebody else. Get you an AI, get you a robot, because that's
Right.
ridiculous.
It's true. And nobody really on the planet is going to, maybe for a short period of time, but nobody's going to completely adjust how they truly are so that
It,
they can appease you. I mean, that's such temporary.
it's so unrealistic, honestly. And I think in my mind, people ask for things that they truly don't necessarily. They don't even want that, really. I told my daughter, she's like, "Well, mom, what do I do?" She's 19, and oh yeah, I'm gonna have to talk about my babies.
You have a 19-year-old? That doesn't even seem possible.
Oh, thank you.
People say we
I'm
say
39.
this.
I didn't have.
I don't let people get away with only the black don't crack comment. It's we do age very well. At the same time, though, the happiness and the lower stress
Oh,
levels, it
heck
does a
yeah.
lot for that. That's even for anybody out there, no matter what
That's
background you
no
are.
matter what race
Yeah.
you are.
Hmm.
Happiness matters because Indians and the people who meditate, look at those monks.
Hmm.
Oh my God. Listen, I thought if I was a monk, okay, it would be stressful for me. I would be old right now. Okay. I would have, they do some stressful stuff. They have to do all of those, the techniques and they be holding up on sticks for hours and standing, it's beyond me. But it is, I was telling my daughter, okay, I said, everybody in this world has their own set of bullshit. You got to figure out what set of bullshit you willing to tolerate. That's it. That's all. Because people look for this perfect human. This is my perfect human. No, 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 no. No one is perfect because perfection in humans, perfection is not stagnant, because we grow. So therefore, my level of perfection is going to be different at the age of 50. I'm gonna guarantee you, than it is at the age of 39. You know what I mean? So perfection changes. So therefore, there's this growth that we're missing when we just hold on to being who we are, or saying that we love them just for today. I'm a firm believer. You got to love me more every day, because if you ain't falling in love, you falling out of it.
Great reminder. Great reminder. And yeah, it starts with, I mean, what you described when it comes to, just being able to love ourselves, most importantly, so that we have love to give. I love, you mentioned Oprah before we started recording as well. And I love how she says, you cannot pour, none of us can pour from an empty cup. So if we're not filling ourselves up with love and with, with happiness and the things that are important to us, like, we really don't have anything to give other people anyways, no matter how important it is to give to other people. Like, if you're not happy, like,
Right.
even if you're like doing like charity work, if you go there like upset and like in a bad mood, they probably won't want you around. Like, even though you're there technically to help, like, we prefer you not be here.
Yeah. Yeah. So, so I mentioned my children, and we already talked about my dogs. So I have I have 2 Staffordshire Terriers. Pit bulls is the term everybody. I refrain, because they get this negative connotation that is nothing like them, but however, they are Osiris and Isis, from the Egyptian Greek mythology, thing. I love stuff like that. I'm a very, I like to learn. If you didn't, if you couldn't tell. And then I have my son. His name is Elion, Elion Kingdom. And then I have
name. Kingdom is his middle name?
Yes.
What a cool name.
Yeah.
Just built-in swag for your son.
Yeah, I'm having to tell him, I'm like, yeah, baby. And his nickname is cute too, because it will be King. And then my daughter is Elysian Queen, and we call her Queenie for short, which is
coolest names. I'm very sure. That's awesome.
Yeah. So my daughter is an amazing artist. You can see her art on lucid.queen. She also has queen.havoc on Instagram. Show her some support. Okay, so I'm not just saying awesome because she's mine. I'm saying, like, yeah, like, when you see it, you're gonna agree. You're gonna be like, oh, you didn't describe it well enough.
What type of art? Drawing, painting, sculpting? What kind of art?
She's done all of them. She did a 5-week tour down at SCAD last summer, where she did some painting, she did some sculpting, she did some real life landscape drawing, all kind of things. Yeah, so she did that down at SCAD. And so she has all kinds. She did this stencil art thing, this wonderful piece of It's of Me. And I was modeling, I was holding my hair like this, and she put, I think it's called typography, where she made it all words, but she drew my hair like my hair is all mom. It says mom, 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 mom. Like, if you look in close, you could see like creativity, hashtag beautify, all in there. So that's on her her Queen Havoc page. I love it. I'm gonna have, you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send you that so that you're able to show some of the stuff, since I'm talking about her, or whatever. If that works,
I'll put it in there. I'll put it in there. No, that's all. I love art stuff, because we all have different, like, gifts that we're given when we come here, and art wasn't one of mine. I was an athlete, and I appreciate those gifts and all these, but so I can't even really draw a straight line. But I've always had so much appreciation for people that could just look at something and just draw it. And then she sounds like she's taking it to a different level. She's putting words inside of, like, my normal artist would just create as hair. She's created hair.
It's like, that's awesome. Yes, it's one of those. It's like you like when you. So I tell people it's words, and they like, for real, and you got to do the zoom. You do the zoom on the screen. You like, for real.
I love it.
And then my son, he's 15. He'll be 16 in a little bit. He's autistic, but he's high functioning autistic, and he is like the super genius mathematician. This boy, he told me he's learning now vector calculus.
Wow. I avoided calculus like the plague in school. Like, I was like, wait, I could take this and this and not have to take calculus?
Biology, so I didn't have to take Calc 3 For real, for
I never
real.
took calculus 1 and somehow I
Oh
manipulated
man,
the
you
school
so
system.
lucky. You
I
get
got
on
my
my
degree
nerves.
and I never took calculus. I never took chemistry or physics. Like I just manipulated the system. Like, wait, I could take this art class and not take that, or this PE class
No,
and
no,
not
see, that
take
ain't work for me. Maybe it was because of my major, because they was like, okay, you got to take physics 1 and 2, you got to take chemistry 1 and 2, you got to take biochemistry 1 and 2, you got
Oh
to take
gosh.
organic chemistry
I didn't take
1 and
any of
2.
those. I didn't take any of those. I went to school to play baseball. So I told the counselor day one, I was like, so you guys are going to make me take classes, right? And he's like, yes, you have to take classes to play sports. I was like, okay, that's what I thought. So what's the easiest major? And he was like, what do you mean the easiest major? What's the one that like I'm going to have to put the least time into because I'm here to play baseball and I'll be pro in
Right,
3 years. Like that's what I'm
right.
telling them my first day.
I mean, but hey, you got to want it, right?
Yeah.
I know that's right. I know
Yeah.
that's right. But yeah, so those are my children. I have a stepdaughter. Her name is Kayla, and she's awesome. She's a sweetheart. Let me see. Oh, and I have an avocado tree. I can't even. His name is Avo.
Look
He's
at
on Instagram. If you check out Rayshone
this.
Oliver. No, I'm serious. So
I know you're serious. I love it.
yeah. So 2 years ago,
But do you eat off of him?
huh?
Do you eat off of him? It sounds like
No.
you.
Okay, so avocados take 5 years to bear fruit.
Oh wow.
Yes. So my idea is, I always have to. I don't just grow the tree for no reason. Apparently, it correlates with when I will become a successful millionaire. I'm
Then or
already,
before.
huh?
Then or
Yeah,
before.
yeah, absolutely. Like when millionaire status. Before that, when avo bears fruit. So I just took him out the avocado I was eating, and I was like, maybe I could grow this. And I stuck the toothpicks in. At that point, I didn't know it took 5 years to bear avocados. I was thinking I was gonna be like, 6 months. I was gonna be like, oh my God, look.
Guacamole.
So yeah, for real. But when I looked it up, I was like, oh my God, these things get 30 to 70 feet tall. And, so but then I was like, well, if I do successfully do this, that means I'll be, first of all, doing something that is probably not heard of in the Ohio area because it's not the climate for it. I would be it just reaching 70 feet tall or reaching these astronomical levels. I mean, I gave myself that amount of time to reach those particular milestones. And when I tell you Avo matches up, when my thumb started hurting, I was like, I've been devastated because I've been still working doing hair throughout this pain. You know what I mean? Because I need a living. But when I finally decide to release my fear and just speak and just keep doing it on YouTube and keep going to events and keep speaking, I was like, okay, I'm gonna make this a career now. That's when Avo, no lie, the top of the leaf started wilting, which made me sad because I'm like, is he gonna die? And then another whole new branch began to grow, and it was like synonymous to my pathway in life. Like almost makes me want to cry because it matched exactly. It always. It's just
That's
awesome.
awesome. That's super awesome. That's
Hmm.
very, very inspiring. I love how life works. The synchronicities of life, the things where it's like that can't be a coincidence, like the way that it's working
Right.
out. That's my favorite parts of life, to just notice those and appreciate them, because you
Hmm.
know that there's things going on behind the scenes that we don't have to know about or try to manipulate or control. Like all we have to know is, hey, this is my vision for what I want to see in life, and I don't know exactly how, when, where, who, all the details, but I'm going to do what I can control in the moment, and in this moment, enjoy this moment as much as possible. And then for any of us, if we can enjoy enough moments and actually enjoy the journey towards any goal or dream or thing we want to manifest, it can be a fun journey all along the way. And then we'll manifest, and then we'll be already excited to manifest something, even greater from there. So
Right. I
that's
think, and that's the thing is that I want to prepare like my spirit now, even though like, people always, I think I want to point out the misconception that because I have this energy and because I'm smiling, I just really, I love to do this, um, that I don't go through stuff and things don't get complicated, and that I don't struggle with depression, and that I haven't struggled with anxiety. Those are myths. I went to pharmacy school. I was depressed as hell. So it was, and there were things those are stories right there. There's so many things that come out of that. And of course they're jewels for me, because now I have a story of something that I could possibly help another young woman who is who has kids at home, going through a pharmacy program, a doctorate program, not necessarily knowing how to manage her home life. I might be able to give her some tips and advice on how I managed it and how I did it and how I went through the process. Yeah, I did not finish pharmacy school. I did not want. I recognize that I'm an extrovert, not an introvert. Okay, I could not stand behind the. I did the internships and all of that, but I'm okay with that, you know. But it's just about learning who we are on the inside. That's it. We really have to be okay with that. We really have to find a okay space, because when you get up there, we get back to people asking for stuff they don't really want. It's not easy. We become more ridiculed. I have to be okay with maintaining my positive mindset, because you look at Tiffany Haddish, she quoted one thing on a social media. I think she said Twitter. I was watching her comedy, and everybody's calling her like, are you depressed, are you okay? And she was like, I just was like, no, I was just emotional and I was just excited. But now you have all of these different people. It sounds like it's great, but then what about your fans? And look at Nicki Minaj and her life and how all these different things come in. Do we really want those particular problems that come with all of those different things that fame has, that comes with, being a person in that field or in that space, has that responsibility that comes with that. There's a responsibility that comes with that.
I'm excited about it because that's I see my journey tech going in that direction, and it excites me because it just gives a bigger platform to share
Yeah.
things that I know will be inspirational and impactful for people, and because that's really one of my favorite parts of life. I love seeing the light bulb come on for people, and a lot of it is what you just described as far as getting to know ourselves better. And I commend you because so many people would have, even though they realize that they're an extrovert and like being behind the counter wasn't going to be like something that they ever enjoy, they do it because they thought, well, this is what I need. This is the path I need to take
Yeah.
to be
Or my
successful,
auntie told
or
me.
yeah, exactly. Or yeah, my family expects me to do it, or all these things. And then you're unhappy in a career, which so many people are out there. And is a big reason why I do what I do, as far as
Yes.
just wanting to help people just get to know like what is passion for them, like what do they want to see, how do they want to impact the world, and then be able to actually go out there and live that. Like there's nothing more fun than to be able to wake up every day and ask yourself, what sounds like most fulfilling today, what sounds most fun today as a part of my journey. And then we have our bigger vision as far as this is what I want to see in my life. And where I am right now, I have this, and this, and I'm just excited to see how much enjoyment, see how much impact I can make from here, knowing that it's going to continue propelling me, further. And so I love it. I love the things that you're sharing are just it's such great, I'd call it advice but it's from your example. I mean, it's from your story. It's from that's how you're
Oh,
living.
that's so
So
dope. That's so
yeah,
dope.
no, it's
Um,
awesome.
I'm engaged. We've been engaged. We've been
Congrats.
engaged. Huh?
I
Thank
said
you.
congrats.
Thank you. Yes, yes. We're gonna get married. We're gonna get married this year. We are non-traditional. We don't ain't planning no dates. We want to just do what we really want to do. We won't I think that's another lesson right there for me. Everything in my life that I'm doing right now, I had to disrupt and disqualify and rebuke all of those different ideologies and beliefs that I had. The idea that having a Jaguar was a great idea. No, don't. Cars are not good investments. Just to say that, you know what I mean? The idea that having this big wedding and inviting people and paying all of this money for them to eat and drink to get married, I'm against that. I don't do the whole Christmas thing, buying all these gifts to be broke and paying everything I owe for income tax. I just don't conform to those things, because those things were a part of the things that made me unhappy. It didn't feel good. It felt good on Christmas Day when my kids got to open gifts, but it sure felt real bad when January 1st come and the rent was due. You know what I mean? And so I was teaching my kids to live in poverty. I was teaching my kids to live paycheck to paycheck. I am just now learning at the age of 39 how to live like an entrepreneur. How many African Americans know what a profit and loss statement is? How many of us manage a cash flow statement? How many of us manage a balance statement? How many of us even think about that? We look at our checkbooks and we think, this works. You know, if you got $1,000 in there, you're happy. You got 500, you okay. You got -1, you're like, what the hell? You know, but those things those are learning lessons. That is how we build $1,000,000 businesses. That is just me. This is me right now finding my 2020 energy and trudging. I just wrote filled out for this grant, and that was what helped me look at my business a little differently. It just helped me look at it as, if somebody was to give you money right now for your business, like, hey, I want to invest in you, what would you tell them you spent it on? You can't say you would pay your bills that you got right now, because that's not an investment. You know what I mean? And so I challenge the business owners to either apply for a grant, attempt to apply for a grant, see what's invested in it, because there's a lot of energy. It's so beneficial for you to look at your business and be like, oh, let me answer this about my business. Now I know if I got $4,000 as for the Amber Grant, if I was to receive $4,000 for the Amber Grant, I would first invest in a financial advisor, because I know how important it is to balance your finances and run your business by the numbers. Some of the largest decisions need to be made by your financial numbers. Also, I would invest in a website designer, just to be sure that all of the background things and technologies, and it was customer user friendly, and that my customers felt comfortable and trustworthy to purchase from me. But that's just my little shout out for the Amber Grant.
I love it. You're so much fun. You're so much fun. You guys got to watch the YouTube of this. If you're listening on iTunes, like, switch over and watch the YouTube for the rest of it, because you get to see funny little intricacies of how Rayshone, like, makes faces and does things. Like, she's a very animated, fun human. I love it.
And my hair be cute.
I love it.
I love it.
Okay, so I have a question for you that I like to ask everybody, and just because I'm curious to see what comes out. Because what I love about the internet is, as far as we know, it's going to live beyond us. I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. And so, knowing that somebody could listen to this episode right when it's released, or 50 years from now, what's something that you become aware of? It could be any area of life that has impacted you, that anytime someone hears this episode, you feel will make an impact on them. And you've been doing it the whole time. It could be anything.
Okay, so last night I attended it's called Toastmasters International. I don't know if you're familiar with Toastmasters, but if you're not familiar with Toastmasters, it's a speaker organization, just, in the short. And in this, during this meeting, they asked a question. The question was, what would you go back to in your past? And what day would you go back? And what would you take with you if you could go back? So I feel like that would nail the story for the people, if they could hear this. If I could go back in time, I would have to search for the place I would go to, because my past was very convoluted. Memory is already jacked up, but my memory has been taken away. I had a traumatic experiences. I was molested as a young girl. So when I think about going back, there's not many memories as a child. They talked about Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts and things like that. I guess what I would talk about is my drill team. When I was in drill team, I love those experiences, but those are just very short moments, because when you can't choose what you delete, everything is erased. So whatever I had to take back with me, I would take my mind. Because how many of us say, if we knew then what we know now? And if I knew then what I knew now, I would have spoke up sooner. I would have been brave enough to say no. I would have been all of those things. But that is why this is so valuable, because now somebody can take that, and my would have been turns into they can right now.
I love that. That's so good. And that's the only way I would go back, is if I could take my mind, the things I become aware of. Because without those things, then you have to, like, live all of it again. So
yeah, I'm like, damn, I'm making the same doing the same shit.
No, that'd be the only way I'd even consider it. But if I could, then I'd take my mind, and then I go actually to senior year in high school, because I do some things differently as far as my sports career.
Okay.
But I needed because I was on a track to play pro baseball, And then I got to
Uh-huh.
San Diego State and then fell in love with partying and just having too much fun. And then baseball became kind of like, it was just, my energy was split. Up until then,
Yeah,
I was
that's
like
most
all about
girls.
it. I was all about it. And then it was like, dang, like you guys are going where? Tijuana. Yeah, I'll go. So,
I know that's right. Hell yeah. Like, we got a game win.
yeah.
I'm sick.
Tomorrow, I'll be there anyway. Yeah. So no, like, dang, I don't really play as well when I smoke and drink the night before. Like,
Listen, right. Listen, I'll be trying. Okay, all right. So now I'm glad that you said. Let me even speak on that right now because I am so. It boggles my brain how every time somebody say smoke weed, they act like you just dumb just because you say smoke weed. Like you say smoke weed, and it's like a dumb thing. Listen. I'd be like, can I meet people who smoke weed and read books? Because there are people out there like that. I'm one of those people. And all of that intellect, everything that I have to say, yeah, I can smoke weed and function. And I say that just like my last podcast, I want to make sure that I say it with a purpose. Because remember I was talking about pharmacy school and how depressed I was and I had anxiety, I was stressed, my house got broken into, and I was depressed. I was sad. I had to drop out of pharmacy school to go back to Youngstown State. Even though I did get a bachelor's, it took a lot of strength and humbling to get back to go and do that stuff. You know what I mean? Like that takes that takes a lot. But I was on Zoloft. They put me on Zoloft, a prescription medication, and that medication just caused so many more problems for me. There already has so many side effects. But me, because I am a mother and I got all kind of things that I'm taking care of. I'm in school and I'm working too. I'm doing internships. I forget to take my Zoloft. And guess when I remember? A week and a half later when I'm like, I didn't take that. And then I'm like, oh my goodness, I haven't taken my medication. See, that's one thing I ain't never forgot though. I do not forget to smoke my weed. I don't be like, you know what, did I smoke today? I don't have that problem. And we don't seem to have that many side effects. I don't have all of those different things. And it is a medication and I'm okay with that. It just takes, I don't know. The world still ain't caught up yet, I think, or maybe where we live at, they just ain't caught up. Here, I'm telling you.
It's still
You say,
illegal in Ohio?
medical marijuana, yes.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, Florida, it is in Florida also. So.
Yeah, it's
I'm
medical
from
marijuana
California,
legal
so
here.
that's what I'm used to.
Right.
California.
Listen, I'm going to one of them. I'm gonna tell you, I'm going to one of them because I need to meet people that like I'm not like obviously no piehead where I'm sitting there just stoned. I just feel like that stoner um vibe has been placed on the marijuana community, and it don't necessarily always have to look like that. You know what I mean? People smoke weed and cipher and have wonderful like it's a part of I feel like it's a cultural thing too that some people may not be understand. I don't know. But we ridicule ourselves. That's a whole nother conversation within itself. Nah.
It's interesting. Like I don't know if I talked about this on the podcast before, but I mean, I started smoking at 16. I'm 37 now, so I guess I've been smoking for 21 years and
You look so
16 now.
young. Oh
I'll
my
take it.
God.
I'll take it. That's just low stress levels.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, we need
Being
every
happy and low
day.
stress levels. Only lines I want on my face are from smiling. That's it.
Exactly.
But yeah, I smoke a lot less now since I moved to Florida, really, just because it's not as accessible. Like my brother legally has a dispensary in California.
Uh-huh.
So I just a lot less now, but I do it like socially now. I always realize like, and I forget this until I do it again. But like whenever I smoke, like I always expect one amazing idea that propels me forward in life, in my journey where I'm going, like every time. And it happens every time.
I'm telling you. Yes. It's listen, no, it's weed and a car ride for me. Those two things. If I'm in the car, if I'm like, on a road trip, I have so many videos where I just push record on my phone, just talking to it because my mind it's just like, bam. It's like, bam. It is, and yeah, you're right. Like if for creatives, maybe that's the relatability there. I'm a creative. My mind goes and goes. I mean, you see what we've talked about. I'm growing an avocado tree. I take care of my kids, and I'm a hairstylist, and I'm writing a book on
900,000 on TikTok.
psychology.
on that video, which I'm
Right,
gonna look at for
right.
sure.
You know what I mean?
Plug your
TikTok
TikTok before I forget.
it.
What's your TikTok handle before I forget? Just plug it. Just
At Rayshone Oliver 7.
okay. That's smart.
Yeah, yeah.
Side note: get on TikTok out there if you care at all about social media. If you're not already, like that's a very hot platform right now. I know you follow Gary
It
Vee. So
really is.
I don't know if that influenced you, but he influenced me. The way he
Hell
talks
yeah,
about it,
I
I
told
was like,
you.
if Gary's gonna talk
Remember
about
I
it like
said
that,
that.
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. Hey, listen, take a moment. Shout out Gary V at Gary V. You be helping me. That was bars.
No, I listen to what I was like. Okay, so TikTok it is. Post more on LinkedIn. All right, I'll do
Yeah, yeah,
it.
and ditto. Yeah. Also, I'll get a copy of this off of YouTube. I know how to do that, or yes, so that you don't have to do the sending. That's too complicated. And then
I
I'm
love
gonna
that you
post
know
it
how to
on
do
my
that. I just
yeah.
normally send it to people because I don't want to teach them how to do that. But that side note, I love that you know how to do that.
Yes, I'll just take it right off of there, and I'll put it. And that way, I'll put it on my Instagram too. Of course, I'll add to my story. I'm gonna put it on my YouTube. I'll put it on all those different platforms because this is like amazing to me. I want to just make sure that I end by saying how grateful I am to have this intellectual conversation. It works so well. It's so good to talk to people that have the same mindset, that believe that positivity. You know what I mean? That know what it's like to see a smile regularly, that aren't confused by it, that read the behaviors, that actually respond and listen and talk both. An exchange of conversation, just that was so valuable to me. You're awesome, Noel. Thank you so much. You were great. This was great. I hope we get to do it again on any venue, any different topic. Listen, one day we'd be on the stage, sharing the stage, talking and sharing something. And I'm down for whatever. I'm telling you, I'm on a growth path. So
I have plans. I already have, and that's already in motion. I'll share with you when we finish. But no, I have plans for future collaborations with you for sure, because your
oh
energy
no.
is awesome, and we're just reflecting each other. So anytime someone comes with, because all I can control is the energy I come with, and for all of us, like we can just control the energy we bring to life, and then it's really fun whenever we attract other people into our life that also are playing on that level, because then you can go places where, like, I'm not gonna sit here in the room by myself and just like. I mean, I can make a video, but it's more fun to make a video with another human being.
Yes,
Be able to flow.
yes. I know. I felt like a crazy person when I first started YouTube. I could not do it because I'm sitting, at first I had this YouTube personality and I would be like, hello, everybody. I don't go look at my old videos. I don't, that's so embarrassing.
I have the same. I know what you're saying completely. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't even watch my old stuff. Like,
Me
just
either.
trying
I'm
to
like,
like,
who are
yeah,
you?
like a news anchor from like the.
Yes. I'm
Yeah.
like, you're not even human.
And if you would have told me that then, I'm like, the information I'm saying is on point. So
Yes. Oh, and I thought this is the way it's supposed to be done. I thought you don't know, or this, but then again, we didn't know either, but they didn't know. They had no clue. They really didn't know. They just knew that they didn't enjoy it. And I guess that should have been the advice that we were taking. But however, I was doing my best. It's hard to do that and be in front of a camera with nobody out there. And you're like, what's up, y'all? How's everybody doing? And you like, it ain't nobody here. And then you
Yeah.
feel kind of crazy. I'm telling you, I started putting pictures up of, so what I did literally for people who struggle with that is I put pictures of Oprah Winfrey. I put a picture of Beyonce with the fierce look. I put a picture of Taraji P. I put a picture of TD Jakes. I put a picture of Joel Osteen. Those pictures have changed since then, let me tell you. But however, I put those pictures up. And when I was speaking, I would, when I got nervous, Taraji would just say, like, girl, you got this. And then when I felt confident, Beyonce was like, yeah, you got it, girl. And, Lisa Nichols was on there. She was one of my favorites because she's the one who told me, who mentioned my voice, who mentioned a voice, who described it in that way. So Lisa Nichols was a big inspiration to me, actually just deciding to have a voice, period. Although like she says, most of my voice was most helpful in my home and with the people that I meet. With my children, it's most effective the way that we communicate, because that's like, again, that's a lot of people wonder how we communicate so effectively and how I handle dealing with my son and my daughter also. But yeah, that those all of those things together, that's how I did it. I put those pictures out there, and then I just would speak to them, and each one of them would just give me that encouragement and speak to me, and then I would just, every time I just got better. And then it was no longer me in front of a camera at YouTube. It was me talking to millions of people in my mind. And I don't know whether that's a good or a bad thing.
That's awesome. If it's exciting to you, it's an awesome thing. I love it.
Yeah, it was very exciting to me. But what I wanted is those millions of people to respond the way that my heart felt it should. You know what I mean? Like, I know that in my mind I'm talking to a million people, but every person that hears it, I need them to be one of those million people, one of those people who feel what I wanted them to feel when I said it, who are inspired, who get that energy, who feel like, oh my goodness, who be like, you know what, I've been there. Like, I until I get those okays and ahas and yes sirs, until I get those things, I'm just waiting for them. I know that they're out there talking to you, like you said. This conversation, you know how valuable it is. Like I said, a person, someone who can hear me speak, and I'm not just talking and saying this without any views, and it's not just a couple people saying, hey, you did a good job. This is a person who I find you a very intellectual young man, that you're established, you're working, you're articulate, you have a positive mindset, all of these different things, and you see value in the conversation. That's valuable within itself. It's like priceless, dude.
Absolutely. Only thing I pay attention to, I mean, I make life so simple. Like, I pay attention to my energy in the moment, because that's all that I really have control over. And if that's something that I'm happy with, whether it be just at peace or at content, or we can bump the momentum up where it's like, I'm happy, I'm excited, I'm passionate,
Mhm.
whatever it is. If I'm living life that way, then for me, that's how I like to live. So it's non-negotiable for me. I can't control what other people choose to do with their
Right.
energy. But for me, if I notice myself, being worried about something or anxious or whatever it is, I'm human too, but I notice it. So it's not like
Yeah.
I'm just like
But you
turning a
don't
blind
dwell on
eye.
it.
Yeah. So it's like, I only want to return back to living like this when I'm feeling like that. So,
Yeah.
whatever I have to do, whether it's meditate, take a nap, go out in nature, like, just
Right.
release this, stop
Whatever
thinking
it is.
about that, whatever it
Yeah.
is, that's most important. And so, when you encounter other people that it's important to them to be happy, to feel good like you, then it's just, I know that whatever we talk about, no, this is a conversation I would have wanted to have with you anyway. And I'm just happy. I tell people I become a recording snob. Like, I just want everything recorded and shared because I want it to
Yes,
impact
yes.
more people.
Mhm.
So, like, I'm happy that we're able to have this conversation, and I know it will impact people out there. And I just really appreciate you for bringing the energy that you bring to life anyway, and sharing it with me and sharing it with the audience. I know that they'll be greatly inspired and encouraged to, to find whatever it is for them that lights them up, like you're lit up for life. And whenever we find that, we can focus on that, just enjoy the whole journey, not have to figure out how it's going to unfold exactly how we want it to unfold, or when or where or who we need to meet to have the relationship we want, or all the stuff that we do as humans. If we can just enjoy the unfolding and be in the
Mhm.
moment, life is so much fun if we can live like
It
that.
is in
Yeah,
the moment. Like, when you're living in the moment, it's so much fun. It
absolutely.
really is. It really is. Cause just, I don't know. I close my eyes all the time and just, I'm grateful for I'm just so grateful. Like, I don't understand how people could live ungrateful. It's just, it's an amazing place to be. Hey, get on my level, homie.
Do it. I love it. Well, thank you
Hey,
so much. Go ahead. Go ahead.
so when we get done, I know I would like to converse after this. After
Yeah.
I don't know what your time is. If you would like for me to schedule another time, either whether it be for another enlightened conversation, or whether it be just to talk about some things that we would like to be projective, some plans, because I really would love to make a profitable investment in our conversation, something that we could try to build something out of. You know what I mean? Some
I have something I share. I have a community called Universal Abundance is the name,
Okay.
and it's created just as an ask to the universe to show me a way to help more people have the light bulb turn on to where we all know we can be, do, and have anything. And at the
Hmm.
same time, like, that's not enough. Like, I want people to have the time and the money coming in to where they can go live their passions without having to ask, oh, how many hours do I have to work, or how many clients do I have to have? I don't want people to have to think about that. I want people to just be able to live just from a place of, I'm fulfilled by doing this. This is fun for me. And that's the world that I want to see. So I'll share with you details on that, because that's fully emotional. That's what I'm most passionate about. All right, you guys, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Enlightened Conversations. Definitely share this episode. It will be of great impact to anybody that you share it with. And rate and review and subscribe if you're not already, and make it easier for people to find these episodes. And I'll keep talking to more awesome humans like Rayshone. And really appreciate you coming on and sharing today. And I know the audience really enjoys you. Follow Rayshone on all social media. You'll see here her links here in the description. And just excited for you and everything evolving for you, and appreciate you for taking the time.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Hey, ditto, Noel. You know, we got more to come. And we definitely got more to come. This was awesome. I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah. First, but definitely not the last collaboration with us.
I know that's right.
All right, you guys, have an amazing day whenever you hear this. We'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. Adios.
Awesome.